Hey everyone, how you doing? Welcome to the channel. It's Indie Author Showcase Day today, which means it's time for a fresh batch of self-published fantasy and science fiction authors to talk to you about their books. So settle down, buckle up, and hopefully find some new titles to add to your TBR.
Hello, my name is Helen Rygh-Pedersen and I am a fantasy author. I currently have two series ongoing, an epic fantasy and also a fantasy romance series called the Zemkoska Chronicles, and it's this one I'd like to talk to you about today. The first instalment is called The Briar Crown, and that's available everywhere, including audiobook, which I narrated myself, so if you are brave enough to go check that out. But I'd like to tell you about the second instalment in the Zemkoska Chronicles, which is coming out on the 12th of December, and that is Appleseeds in the Snow. You do not have to have read The Briar Crown in order to read Appleseeds in the Snow, but there will be a few tasty little Easter eggs for those of you that have. It is about Princess Una Domonov, who has just finished her schooling and she is not ready to take on the responsibilities of the realm, the first of which includes marrying her betrothed, the man who will help her uphold the balance of nature. So she goes to Bergen with her friend for the winter holidays, and she intends to have a lot of fun. However, her intended has sent with her a guardsman to watch over her, and he is having none of this, especially when it comes to the charming King Olaf von Odeberg. If you are looking for a wintry read that will warm you up in these cold months, then I hope you will give this a go. It's got that Narnia vibe, a fairy tale feeling, and some spice, if you are or are not into that, just to let you know. I hope it is as atmospheric as my epic fantasy series. I got a lot of inspiration from walking through the forest in actual blizzards whilst I was writing this book. And I had a lot of fun writing it, and I hope you will have a lot of fun reading it. So that is Appleseeds in the Snow, which comes out on the 12th of December.
Hi, I'm Thomas J. Prestopnik, the author of Nicholas Raven and the Wizard's Web. This is a 3-volume Lord of the Rings-inspired epic fantasy I published in 2015. It's about 1,800 pages long and took me nearly 37 years to write. And it's available on Amazon in paperback and Kindle editions. Nicholas is a young gristmill accountant who reluctantly flees his village after being framed for robbery and murder. But what he doesn't know is that two evil wizards are behind his problems, and they want to conquer the kingdoms of Liparia. But while on the run, Nicholas is drawn into the battle against those very wizards. This includes his journey to seek out a retired wizard to repair a magic key, one turn of which could open an iron box sealed with a magic spell. Inside, a spirit has been incubating for 20 years, and if released, it could destroy the evil wizard's Inari army, created from rock and soil. Nicholas has several other adventures along the way, which I highlight in a brief book trailer I made a few years ago. Thanks for watching.
Well, hello everyone. My name is Herman Steuernagel, and I am a science fiction author. I am currently working on my series called Fractured Orbit. The book series currently has 3 books. Eclipse is the first book in the series. Chimera is the second book, which just released in October. And the third book, which just released in November, is Resurgence. And I don't even have printed copies of it yet, but that is what the cover looks like. I am so excited to share this series with you, but Eclipse is part dystopia, part space adventure. So in Eclipse, there are 2 main point of view characters. The first is Django, and Django lives on a space station. During the climate wars, much of the Earth was destroyed, and the elite decided to evacuate humankind. So it takes the billionaires in space trope, and it twists it on its head. Now, for some unknown reason, the inhabitants of the space station, or the Syndicate Empire, we're not told yet which, decided that it'd be best if those on the space station did not know that the Earth was still inhabited, and that there were in fact people living in the solar system as well. At Jenga's point of view, we are 200 years into the future after the climate wars happened, and he is a space station farmer minding his own business and tending his crop, which he believes is being sent back to Earth to cross-pollinate and to restore Earth back to its habitable state. On the eclipse, if you discover that there's more going on outside of the space station, you're essentially shoved out the airlock. So Django discovers that the Earth is in fact habitable with his friend Eventide. Him and Eventide are then in a race to get off the space station before it is realized that they know the truth. On the flip side, we have Mika Janax. Mika Janax lives off of the eclipse. She used to be a space pirate. So in this universe, I didn't want to stick to the trope of the hidden world and nobody knows what's going on outside of the hidden world. I give it to you right away in a second point of view. So Mika Janax is an ex-pirate. Now Mika has a troubled past. Mika left her life as a pirate behind 8 years ago in order to take care of her ailing mother, as well as a hidden reason that we don't learn until later on in the series. However, a ghost from her past comes back to haunt her. We see Mika having to make some tough decisions and having to team up with a commander of the Syndicate Empire, which is the empire that rules most of the solar system in the book, and she has to decide to work with him to make the solar system a better place. So that is Eclipse, the first book in this series. The second book in this series, Chimera, takes off exactly where Eclipse left off. It's hard to get into too many details about Chimera and Book 3 Resurgence without getting into spoilers. So if you enjoy science fiction, if you enjoy character-driven stories, if you enjoy dystopia, if you enjoy space adventure, space heists, space pirates, if you enjoy a story that follows the plight of individual characters in a larger system, this series is probably for you. So even if you enjoy fantasy more than sci-fi, I've had a lot of fantasy readers who have absolutely loved the series. It might be something worth giving a try.
I'm E.L. Lyons, author of Starlight Jewel, the first in the Gifts of the All-Tree trilogy and a dark epic fantasy. When I first started writing Starlight Jewel, my only goal was to ruin Cinderella and to make it make sense. And I think I succeeded in doing both of those, along with creating a whole alternate world and making a really cool version of Spriggans. So there are no fairies, elves, or dragons in this, but Spriggans are derived from Cornish mythology, and I took a lot of liberties and made them very, very different. I wanted to make something that was majestic and kind of scary. And I did a lot of biology research to come up with what sort of abilities they would have. It's a low magic book, so there's no fireballs or flying. So I did research on predatory animals and migratory birds and trees to come up with the Spriggans. The story centers in Menelov, which is where the Spriggans and humans interact and create hybrids so that they can communicate with each other and trade. Axley, the main character, is one such hybrid, and her main goal in the book is to keep her brother safe. So her human half-brother has glass magic that's incredibly dangerous and could destroy countries. So she's trying to keep him safe and trying to keep everyone safe from him. And that, in the beginning of the book, leads her to murder some of her friends and run away from the Starlight Company in the city where the hybrids live to try to make it on her own with her brother. And then the Starlight Company pulls her back in, and she has to figure out how to keep him hidden and keep him safe while she's under watch and guard from the other hybrids. And that's the story. I hope that you will enjoy it. Thank you.
Hello, I'm Natalie, and I'm here to speak to you about the third book in my Inner Universe Space Fantasy series, Quarantine 13. This one is a fully self-contained standalone, in case you haven't read the first two. There's a new protagonist, Tara, although the main cast is all the same characters that were in the first two books. So this one is about Tara's anxiety and the PTSD that she suffered after the events of the previous books. So she has one of the only abilities that in her universe is sort of magical. She can see energy as it moves through air. She uses that normally to guide the wooden spaceships safely through space. But because it's quite spotty now, she accidentally sends the ship through a portal and they end up stranded on a desert island in the middle of a vast ocean in outer universe on a planet called Quarantine 13. She blames this all on herself, and she's quite worried because it's quickly becoming clear that they are not alone on this island. So this one is very character driven. It is all about Tara's internal journey, figuring out how to live with the PTSD and her anxiety. Although I have also dropped in some exciting action, of course. She ends up in some crocodile infested waters, in a war zone. There's even some space pirates later on. So yeah, it is action packed, although it is mainly about her internal journey. It is a queer normative world, and Tara is a bisexual main character, although she is in an established relationship. It's not really about the romance, it's more about her own personal journey. Do mind the themes and check the content warnings because of her going to that war zone. There's some grisly moments for some readers, I think. But yeah, thank you very much.
Hi there, I'm thrilled to present my novel A Treatise of Air by C.L. Jarvis, the second book in my historical fantasy Edinburgh Doctrines series, the first book which was released earlier this year. Like the first book, A Treatise of Air is set in late 18th century Edinburgh and features many of the same characters you've seen in the first book. The story stars Elizabeth Fulham, who is the wife of a medical student, Thomas, and an accomplished scientist and magician in her own right. And she gets caught up in a scheme to recover a stolen industrial secret that has been swiped from under her and some of the medical establishment's noses. If you like action-packed stories and the lies of Loch Lamora type heists and shenanigans, I think you'll enjoy this book. It's very action-packed and fun to read and features quite a ballsy heroine. Thank you.
Thank you so much to all of the authors who've taken the time to film a video and send it over to me for inclusion in today's showcase. I hope you all enjoyed listening to them talking about their books, and you can check out more details using the book and author links in the box below this video. If you're a self-published fantasy or science fiction author and you want to appear in a future one of these videos, check out the showcase page on my website, dominishbooks.com, and you can find all of the details you need there to get a video over to me. That's all I've got for you today, so thank you very much for joining me. I hope to see you in the next one sometime soon. Until then, as always though, take care of yourselves, read some good books. Bye for now.